Hi, I'm Isis, and today I'm going to share with you a quinoa and a cooked green salad. And what makes this unique is that I'm going to add a little bit of dried apricots and some pistachios and lemon, so it gives it a really nice texture and flavor. And I'm just using white quinoa. Now quinoa is a seed, and it's a perfect protein. It contains all your essential amino acids. But what you're going to do with quinoa is you're going to put 1 cup of quinoa and 1 3/4 cup of water, because we're using less water with the quinoa. So at first, when you're cooking the quinoa, what I want you to do with cooking grains is leave the lid ajar until it's up to a boil. And then you're going to place the lid on. You'll hear it clicking, and then you'll turn it down to low. And really, quinoa only really takes about 10-15 minutes to cook. So I'm going to use here cone number 2, and I'm going to use my Saladmaster machine. And I've just got a half a yellow onion, and I want to just chop up half of it. The recipe calls for about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. I'm using about 5 cloves of garlic because I like extra garlic. So I'm just finishing up a half of an onion, and now I'm going to saute this with some garlic in my 11-inch skillet. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to keep this at really low temperature today, so I'm going to use a low temperature oil, which is olive oil. And I just want to put a little bit, teaspoon or 2, and I'm going to put in my onion. Get all my onion in there, and I'm going to add garlic. Now you could make the garlic really nice and minced in tiny pieces, but what I really like are big chunks of garlic, because in this dish you're going to get like a bite of roasted garlic, and it's going to taste fantastic. So using big garlic chunks. What I'm going to do is just saute this for a minute, and then I want to show you how to chiffonade some greens. Alright, so I want to show you how to chiffonade some greens. You can do it with your basil, your herbs, or any of your dark leafy greens or lettuces. Chiffonade just means to cut into little ribbons and strips, and it's going to make it easier for cooking with the kale. So I'm just going to cut that into little tiny ribbons, and actually what you can do is even roll it, all your greens up, and then you've got a tiny little ribbon. And that's what a chiffonade is. And this just makes it easier whether you're eating it raw, and there we go, or you're cooking. So, all right, so I've got my ribbons of kale, and I'm going to add this to our saute, and I'm going to saute the greens. All right, so now I'm going to add the greens to the onions and garlic and do a little saute on them. And I've got all of my dino kale here that I did a chiffonade on. And I'm going to put that in there. Now I want to add a little arugula, or they call it rocket. And arugula has kind of a peppery bite to it. So I'm going to add just a small pack that you buy in the grocery store. It's already washed. So I'm going to add that to the onions, and we'll just put the lid on and let it just wilt down and do a little saute. Okay, so I've sauteed the greens just for a couple minutes. And they're perfect. They're not overcooked. They're going to be a little bit tender, but you can see the color is just really deep and a lot greener. So perfect. Now I've got the cooked quinoa in my bowl, and I'm just going to assemble the salad. So I want to add some apricots, and I just have here apricots that were cut up into just little cubes. So I'm going to put those in with the cooked quinoa. I'm going to do some green onion, and this is just 2 green onion that are just diced up. And then I've got a roasted pistachio nut. And with the pistachios, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to run them through the machine just to kind of break them up. You can put them in whole, and then you have kind of a bite, but I'm going to put them in the machine. All right, and break up some, and some of them are going to fall through the back. Don't worry about that. And looks good. I'll take off my guard here and finish this up. All right. So broken pieces of pistachio nuts. Now while I've got cone number 1 on our Saladmaster machine, I just want to zest some lemon. And I just take a whole lemon and just hold it on the outside and slightly turn. We're just getting some of the zest. All right, so get all the zest, and then I'm just going to add our greens and juice some lemon and add some salt and pepper. So I've got the arugula, and sometimes called rocket, and the kale, the onion, and the garlic. And I want to add that here, all of that. All right, a little bit left. So I'm going to juice my lemons. Just cut those in half, a little lemon juice. All right, so I have my quinoa salad, and I'm just mixing it up, and it looks beautiful with all the apricots and the greens. All right, so it needs a little black pepper, and you could throw in some cayenne pepper if you prefer versus black pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and do it salt to taste. Now this is pretty much a low fat. If you want to add a little extra oil, you could. I recommend using a kind of a fruity flavored oil, like olive oil. So probably a teaspoon extra of oil there. And you've got the lemon in there, the lemon zest, and the kind of peppery flavor on the arugula. So this is a perfect salad. This becomes its whole meal. I'm adding just a little extra lemon because I like it tart.